Right?
Yeah,
Let's see if we can get some noise in chat box. Anyone? Let's make some noise in chat box. Who all are admins? Or okay, I'll say who are all not the admins. They can ping in the chat box, chat system. I just say good evening. Good evening, everyone. That's all I can see right now. So okay, that case, we'll start. We do have some very small PPT presentation. We won't bore you. We won't bug you much. Okay, but still, it's there with us. Okay, give me a second. Just need to align the PPT. Slideshow. Start. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen. Just let me know what you guys see. Is that good? Everyone can see it? Let's see if Deepak, you all can see, right? Okay, that's great. Okay, so today's session, like we said, it's much more like Jira admin session oriented. But just think in this way, this is not purely Jira admin session. Okay, it's also contributes towards Confluence as well. Okay, so that's the case, and obviously we are going to accept question from you guys, obviously, and we really need much more questions. So it's me and welcome aboard, everyone. Okay, so today we will discussing about the Jira Cloud, scalability system, admin part, workflow, status, governance, and much more thing. But let's start with Avneet for now. Over to you, Avneet.
yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Avneet Srivastav, and I want to welcome everyone over here. Thank you for joining this session. And this session is basically what we are targeting over here. We are targeting to all the users who are the Jira admins, all the PMs, project manager, project admin, and we are going to share some tips or tricks where you can save some license cost, or you can efficient your work, you can reduce your work. According to that, we are going to share that.
So that's Avneet, and that's me. So I am breaking Atlassian system since 2015, but also fixing it. Same way Ravneet is breaking Atlassian since 2014 and still fixing it. Okay, so I work at Snowflake and Avneet work at Citco. So anything else you want to add, Avneet?
Piyush is working Atlassian very hard, as we all know, and so am I. So we are working, we are fixing, we are working in Atlassian in our organization, we are fixing in other organization in our organization as well. Like that, the work is going, and we have learned so much things which we are going to share.
And there's an important part, guys. So you know what? Why I'm here? I'm here for technicality, but on top of why Avneet is here, deal with workflows here. Sorry, workflows where there are multiple approvers are required different state. How do you make workflows?
So when you are going on the workflow and you need a multiple approvals thing, so first there is a few things which you need to understand. If you are going with that, you need to create a multiple field called as multiple approvals, or which should be the multiple user selected field. While you are going with the approval, you need to include those persons over there, and while you are on the in between transition for the approved, you always allow or you always make a condition the person who are part of that field only they can approve, otherwise no one can approve. That is the best way to got the multiple approvals in those cases.
Yeah, that's the way actually. That's how you do a status mapping and all. Let's take two from Praveen. Do we have any existing predefined JQLs that any other documents you check whether status are same but used in workflow for specific projects? Actually, can go to the admin section and click on the workflow status, and then you will get a list of where all that work or where all that workflow is used in which schemes, and those schemes are associated with what project. Praveen, for you, right? There are some kind of automation that we are going to discuss that is going to make you more interactive over that time.
for
Yeah,
pro-
I would like to see the consolidated way rather than go each and every workflow to see how many projects and all. So if we get a consolidated summary, then so that it will be easy for a quick decision making rather
so
than no,
Praveen,
go by step.
I can say you need to wait for a few more slides when we are going to discuss the automation. Then
Sure, sure, sure,
we'll
sure,
do
sure. Thank you, thank you, Bhavesh.
But I've got one beautiful thing to say, right? If your company is willing to shell money, go with the apps. If not, there's something that you can create which isn't going to have any sort of costing. We'll get back to on that one, and that's surely a kind of good thing that we have.
we are definitely going to discuss the
Yeah,
costing as well.
costing as well. I think we can create template. Obviously, the template is there, but again, if you're trying to create a template, never change that template,
Yeah. So
because when you create a template, when you create a template, the template is created after doing 100 rounds of checks, PA, process requirement completion. It's not that you are trying to create a bulb in the second round and it's all there. Okay, you have to do a number of steps to verify it's benefit for everyone for you. Sorry, go
okay,
ahead.
for template, I was talking about. I have created template for the my one of the old organization that is very big bank called as BNY Mellon. So over there, I was the part of a standard committee, Jira standard committee, where we have created a specific workflow for all those issue type. So all those issue type have the different workflow. So when you are going to create a template, make sure you are not the owner of creating of that template. You should be seated on the driving seat, and that template should be approved by the product owner, project manager, who are giving you those ideas.
Yeah. So that's what, Tushar, your question is way too big. We'll take it later on. Okay, because of time constraint, no worries. And Sayed, will get you on that one in next to next slides. So moving ahead, right? I guess we've already covered this slide, status management, right? Avnit, yours.
Yeah. Okay. So status management is okay. So okay. Status management. Okay. So why we are going to create this multiple status? My workflow is ready. In my workflow, what I am seeing different status over there. So while I'm seeing different status, like in QA, QA UAT, QA prod or in progress, ready for progress, in progress, move to in progress, like that. Over there, I have a several status call as in progress. I have several status call as approved. I have several status call as QA, UAT, prod, ready for prod, review. It is a very mess. So if it is a mess, what should we do? Either I'm not sure whether it should be the blocked or in block or move to the blog, hold in hold, because everyone is having a different language. So before making change or before doing thing, you need to set up one idea. So that idea or that thing should be given over where it should be published either on the Confluence, or you make a note over there, or you make a publish a statement over there, so that this is the thing which we are going to give. If you need anything new, just give us the brief description and justification why you need it, instead of QA, why you need in QA. What is the sense is making QA for you, and what is the sense it is making in QA for you. Same for the review and same for the in review. How you can differentiate between review and in review. So with the help of that, we can make a status management. But there is a one more challenge. What is that challenge? That challenge is coming for the backlog section. What is the for the board section? While we are in the board, every manager or every product owner, they don't nearly much care about what is the status or what is the not. They much care about how to show the, because everything is depend upon the reporting section. So while you are in the reporting section, everything it will be given over there. You need to understand the reporting. So while in the reporting, it makes sense. Normally, I guess 90-95% people are using the Kanban board. So Kanban board, if you are giving a name of QA, if you're giving the name of review, they will be thinking, oh, it should be in QA, it should be in review. So might be that is the reason they are asking for that status. So better to connect with your department owner, your project owner. Ask them what type of status management you want, what type of board you want. Because generally, being a Jira admin, what we left. Okay, my job is to create the project, my job is to create the workflow, my job is to create the automation custom field, but I am not going to create the board for you. So better create a board for them as well, so that they can understand, you can understand what is their project. It is also going to benefit for you, so that you can understand how their project is going to be behave.
This cycle came in, developer worked on it, and then they find out that it is also with a bug, and the bug is in progress, and you have to cancel the story. So what you do is you just cancel the ticket. No, it doesn't mean anything. What does it mean is you completed that story, but you have to mark a resolution that is a bug found, not a bug. It's like it's a cancel, and even though it's just done, yeah, that you can do it. So generally what happens is, let's talk about a purchase system. In purchase, there are two major milestones. One is you are actually going to purchase, wherein that agreement is accepted, okay, and then it comes the agreement is completed, okay. So in those cases, when the agreement is accepted, you again have a accepted green color status. An agreement not always necessary. You should have a done state with a resolution, or the close state as well. So that differs. So again, it's based on your requirement. And obviously you can put post function to fix this, but again, like I said, if it is agreement is completed, then obviously you need a post function that it's completed, not completed. But when the agreement is accepted, when you're halfway of the whole agreement, doesn't require that you have to add a resolution. It matters. That's how this one is. So let's moving on to the next one. Issue
So
types.
yeah, issue type and custom field. So while we are in Jira, we need to understand Jira is basically coming, like the legacy Jira is coming with the epic story and subtask. So while we are the epic story and subtask, we all know what is the epic. So epic is basically a large deliverable format or large data which we are collecting the information, and we are dividing it into the chunks, are either called as stars story or user story. We can call it anything. So in normal scenario, what we are calling epic as a parent, subtask story and everything we call it as a child, and the subtask we called it as a grandchild. So till that the formula is good. Now what will be happen, we are going with the information like uh, okay, we want to be the manage the project, and epic is not covering our data. In this scenario, what will be happen, Jira acquire the Atlassian acquire the new plugin called as portfolio. So over portfolio advanced roadmap, it is giving you the advanced roadmap, which is giving you the uh, parent field. That parent field is coming with the new issue type called as initiative, or some organization also using as a plan. So what is initiative? What is plan? So initiative is like you are going to drive a new thing within the organization. So till that it is okay, but while you are going into the move forward, there should always be a plan. So a plan can have a multiple initiative, and after that initiative can have a multiple epic, and epic can have multiple issue types, multiple task user stories and other things. Same for the, like, a single task can be divided into the subtasks, as we all know. So this is the basic phenomena for the going for the hierarchy of the issue type, which we always use within the organization, and it is giving you the best way to understand and to define, because this is the phenomena which always fit in all the scenario in all the organization as well.
But you will be thinking why we are actually bombarding you with information about what is the issue type is. But there is actually a tip over here. The tip is you have to always make sure your hierarchy is well suited in the organization, wherein if tomorrow there are 50 teams, there should be around 65 to 75% team that they should, or it's a very better for them to adopt it. For rest of the 25%, probably I can say then you can do some customization. And it's not that you have to do customization. First of all, obviously, it's the thing that you have to sell your own workflow or your own issue type scheme project template to them, which is well suited for them. Because let's say they have a hierarchical initiative, epic story, bug defect, right? They say that we don't want a test case, but they say we do use bugs. Now the things come to picture that hey, you are using bugs, but why don't you use test cases? Obviously, the bugs is associated with a test case to be followed, right? Then you have a selling thing. This is your test cases, execution tests, and other thing, right? With or without the QA plugin as well. You try to sell to them that you are using bug. Today or later, your bugs is obviously going to have a test cases associated with it. So why don't you use it right from now? Why you're waiting for the future, wherein your QA tells you that hey, we need to test cases. Where should I tag it? That's how it is. They are not going to tag it as a subtask. So that's a selling point which he uses. So that's actually a tip and refinement, probably I can say. That's the reason Avneet said on that one.
Yeah. So while you are on the test cases, so test cases is basically while you are going to use that. So there is a hierarchy in test cases is going to be followed. Like there is a test, there is a test plan, there is a text execution, then there is a going to be the new test or going to be the bug over there. So if you are going to use those things in that scenario, you need to follow the advanced roadmap, or you are going with the new plugin, which is like structured. So it will be give you the scenario of the grandparent to the bottom of the child for the structure while you are using with the issue types.
So that's actually a requirement wherein Jira admin has to follow, which they have to sell to your users. Any PMs over here? Six levels. Okay, I have got a question. Sajid says I came across an organization that has six level in taxonomy: saga, capability, epic, feature, story, task, subtask. Actually, your stories and tasks in a similar level, and subtasks doesn't count as a level actually. How can Jira account such level? So Sajid, um, you've got enterprise version with you. My first question is this one actually for you. Cloud, if it is cloud, what do you have? You can unmute yourself and talk properly if you can.
Yep.
Sajid, everyone's waiting to hear your voice.
Sajid.
Sajid, if I'm pronouncing wrong. And the client does have, they have 20. Okay, see, it doesn't matter how many employees they have. It's a process that matters, right? So when you say taxonomy levels, obviously you can have that levels. If you have an enterprise edition, right, wherein you have a advanced roadmap, right? Um, and if you have a data center good version right over there, you have the same features. You can define this levels. Okay, so let's take an example. You've got a team is working on. Probably you want to take an initiative milestone thing.
See, instead of that taxonomy, I'm not going to take that one. I'm going to suggest the new thing because Atlassian understand this problem. So instead of mixing this taxonomy or finance thing over here, they developed a new tool called as Jira Line,
Yeah.
which is following the same hierarchy which you are talking about. So you can define hierarchy within the Jira Line with that, like Saga, capability, epic, feature. Because in if you are going with the advanced roadmap as well, still epic will be always the parent, and feature, story, task are going to be share the same father, which is called as epic, and subtask will always the grandchild.
So actually, you can have the feature and epic at the same level. Then you can have the story task below level and the subtask. But on top of epic, you can have other options. Just for a safer note, Jira Line is way too costly than Jira. So think about it. Okay, it's way costly. But see, there's something that needs to be confirmed.
But Jira Line is basically created for the
Project man.
finance and taxation. So they think about how the finance team is working, because finance team is having a different standard, different terms to call within there. So they are giving us the phenomena of this to create a multiple level of the issue type, where you can decide it by yourself how you are going with that.
There's one more thing actually. So in this case, right? Let's assume a Jira. You try to have epic blah blah from the bottom, right? Jira works in a way wherein you are at the middle level and you go from top. It's like mid level to down, or else down to upper level. I'm not talking about the higher level, right? So okay, so if you can see my hand, right? This is a mid level. You have epic, so and so, so and so, so and so. Jira works in this hierarchy. But when you have align works in actually way higher hierarchy. Let's assume that let's to take with the employee thing. Till director, you have managers and SMEs and so. It's from this to this. When you have, this is a Jira instance. When you have a align part, you have CTOs, CIO, CFO, CEO level. So for them, this upper layer is something which is your align part. This is your Jira part. Now, in your case of taxonomy, you're trying to correlate both of the levels, the CIO, CEO, CFO levels, with your what I say, with your Jira part, with the manager, senior manager, AFE, SMEs, QA, and blah blah, all the below one. So you have to correlate between them. I guess that's what a good example of how you can correlate between those. One of my user does not create separate Jira for stage and production, and he assigned the same ticket to SRE and then QA. He calls it process bureaucracy, but it may differ to track efforts of the team members. Okay, I've seen this. Have you seen this part? So what really happens is, okay, what he's saying is, there's a ticket. You are the developer. I am the QA. You transfer the same ticket to me. I work on it. I check it. Then I transfer the same ticket to the other SRE to verify. There's a different verification team.
Correct.
They verify it and they transfer the same ticket to the developer that this is confirmed. What you have done is good. You close it. Now you never know whether which QA was working, how many QA have worked on what all tickets.
Okay.
And the SME SRE doesn't know what was actually the issue was, or how many tickets were working on it.
Completely got it. Okay, let me take this
Yeah.
question. And I think
It's a good question.
Yeah,
It's a good question.
Actually, on top of that, this guy he keeps commenting on this ticket, and which does not go into description. So if you create a ticket for stage environment, and when you are going to work in production, and let's say in between something has happened, then he asks us to find that into the comments. So I mean, it's critical, right? You have hundreds of comments into the ticket, and you're kind of marking those comments in the email communication or wherever it is. So it is very difficult, right, to get a ticket transitioning from right from the stage till the production deployment, complete deployment. So
This just hold on.
uh,
This Dhanraj, so this
yeah.
process bureaucracy that you said, okay, and I really like the way you called it process bureaucracy.
And he calls it process bureaucracy. He says that all you guys are doing is process bureaucracy. I don't want to do that. It is easier for me to track this way,
Yeah,
and
that
he does it. Huh.
so this is the process already there from way long. Was it ever
Yeah.
changed in last 3 years probably?
Even more than that. So I shifted to that project recently, and I started questioning, but it was being there for a very long time.
So the reason I just one thing amazing what you say. So the thing is, the reason I'm still laughing is I have seen that part hundreds of times, and that's
Mhm.
where it comes into picture that people start disliking Jira admins. Okay,
Ah.
probably I say Atlassian admins. The thing is, this is way long process, and there has to be a stop, and there's something new has to be done. The reason is, the person who has this process, he actually never got to understand how the Jira system, how it should work. It's not like
Mhm.
how it should work, how you can make it work. Probably back
Mhm.
to you, Nit.
Yeah. Okay. One more thing. We forget one more question over here for Dada. So you take it after that. So for Mali, for your questions, this is the scenario. Okay, how you are going to be tackle this scenario? So there is a few way to tackle this scenario. First way, if they are see you, what the problem which you are facing, that problem is between the development team and the test team. Your test tester is pushing their own ticket to the development team. Okay, so you have a one ticket. At the one moment, that ticket is become the test ticket. At another moment, that ticket become the development ticket, and the another moment it will be getting the issue ticket. So that is the problem which you are facing. And if you are thinking about as the or you are going to see it on the scenario of the project manager or the product owner, they are absolutely right. They are not wrong. Because they are wrong in terms of Jira admin, but they are not wrong in terms of
Their
their
process.
eyes. Yeah, their
Their process.
process, because their process is right. So being a Jira admin, what we have to do, see what you have to do, while you have to give them the workflow, push to the or assign to the development team or assign to the test team. So while this ticket is, they are selecting the status assigned to the development team, at that moment of time, when there is a, you need to create a automation over there, where a new ticket or the old ticket or the link ticket which is mentioned, like the ticket we are talking about, sorry, so that ticket will automatically updated with the latest comment, that ticket will automatically updated with the audit logs, and move to the or assigned to the test team. Same way, while the test team is doing that, it will be automatically creating it, uh, collecting the all log, all data, all comments, and move towards to the development team. But how, means now you are going to be ask me, okay, while I am moving to the development team, there is a new ticket will be created. Now again I am moving to the development team, again a new ticket will be complete created. No, you have to be tackled it with the custom field. If the custom field is having the value, or you can create the connected ticket. There is a custom field called as connected ticket, where you can mention the URL or you can mention the ticket number, and which is non-editable,
Yeah.
means no one can able to edit it, not you, not project admin, not the person who is working on the ticket. So while they are moving it to the development team, the development team will get automatically data within their project, and they will work on those data. While they are clicking on move to the test team, that test team data will, or that automation automatically pick all those data and update their current ticket. And while the ticket will be updated, you can send a notification to the specific team, or the team the ticket will be updated. Now you can start your working. Till then you can put a status called as hold or in the bucket of development team.
Yeah, actually, Dhanraj, Mali, if the this is a very very big process, right, wherein you have many teams working on the same thing, we let we are going to give you solution right away in the automation slides, right? But actually, this is a good use case, so probably it will be very better for us to give you solutions how automation can be done, how a non-automation can be done in your case, with workflow, without workflow, with automation, without automation, with different status, without different status, with different issue types, without different issue type, with automation flow and without automation flow. So I said automation versus automation flow. Those are two different things. We'll get back to one. If we forget doing the automation, just remind us.
Sure.
Okay. And okay, so Tolupe Dada. So Tolupe, where are you from actually? So Lupe, I've got a question. We have a theme, portfolio, epic, capability, epic store. Okay, I guess he's talking about the hierarchy, right?
Hierarchy of the,
So again, theme and portfolio epic is obviously good. Capability, epic stories again there, but again you have said the portfolio epic versus epic, right? If you can differentiate with the names, that would be much more good. Okay, so obviously theme is in parallel with the epic. That's always considered. So when you say a theme as of like some X process, right? So that X process again have different types of. Okay, let's go in different way. You've got a mobile. A mobile has a particular version. Let's go with the Mac system. That should be good. A Mac has M1, M2, M3. So the Mac is your epic, and M1, M2, M3 has a themes associated with that. So again, those themes have a different hierarchy process versus the epic. That's how it should go. But again, what you have is again a good criteria to guide. It's not a debatable thing, but it's a good thing. Mic is disabled. probably you joined later on. Deepak can update your mic process.
Deepak.
Yeah. Uh, and going to the next thing, right? Obviously, I guess we forgot to update the custom field. Just again, the reason we are trying to correlate this is something you are going to make this beneficial for you in terms of tips, tweaks, automation in the next slides. So, for example, right now you have a custom field, right? One of the nightmare of any of the admin is you have n number of custom field and everyone wants to have a custom field. Okay, I have seen in my personal thing, someone says that I want a Figma URL, I want a Slack URL, I want a Teams URL, I want a Google Drive URL, I want this and that URL, and they want, and everyone has a different URL, right? They and no similar URL in the same ticket. They want everyone want to have a different URL, and we probably admins tend to create a number of URLs as a different custom field, which doesn't make sense. It's better you can just create one field which is just a static name, info URL, related URL. Just create it and people start adding the details to it. That should be a good option. But let's say if your single project have five different set of URL that user has to accept. For example, UAT test case URL, UAT product, UAT system URL, production URL, right? In that case, what you can do is you can create one single description type of field. There you add it a by default appended thing, right? This is URL for this. That is it's like you have a description box right over there. You say that Slack URL colon blank space, team URL colon blank space, UAT blah 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 URL colon blank space. So if the people comes in, they will just try to enter the detail. Okay, because I have never seen in my life that someone tried to do a JQL searching about that URL and they click on it. They try to export in some. They just want to have the URL there in your system. They never want to associate each URL with a different custom fields. Okay, so that could be another scenario. So this is all sort of custom field that you how the optimization is there. That's again a different use case. Probably Avneet can take.
So while you are on the custom field, what you need to understand, every team is coming to you, towards you, and ask you, I need, suppose you have a PMO team. PMO team come to you and ask, okay, can you create a field called as PMO start time,
Yeah.
project start time, project end time? So over at that moment of time, if you have the standard process within your Jira, you can tell them, no, we have a target start date, we have a target end date. Same for the business value. Same, they will be call you, connect with you. Okay, this is for the HR, this is for the networking, this is for the uh, hardware team, this is for the software team, this is for the uh, going to be the sales team, HR team, like that. So you need to connect with them. You need to get the business value, you need to get the dependent value, you need to get the dependent links with them, like test environment, either you are working on a staging environment, sandbox, production, or any other specific country environment. You need to be mentioned over there so that they can understand, and don't try to create the custom field with the starting or the name of the project. It will give you the while you are giving a common name like environment, instead of test environment you can give the environment, which is the best one or which is the great one, where you can understand, you can tell them we are going with this phenomena and we request you to follow that. In case if they come to you, ask you, know, we want it should be the part of like why we are calling it, then tell them what is the difference of how you are understanding how it is differ from your current project to the new project. So
Yeah, that's what the case is. So custom field maintenance tips and trick is going to be there, and that has to be always there. So first thing is obviously why you need to create a custom field. Okay, you try to create a custom field, then you give a proper name, like I said, right? Rather than having five different fields for the URL, let's have a single field for the URL, which is known as the info URL, where user try to add all the data over there. So that's one of the cases. Then you have a target date, then you have target end date. People tend to have target start date, target end date. Then they have a start date only, then they have end date only. Then why they cannot use a start date, end date, and target end date? Eventually, there are a few cases in ITSM field for the change. You have a start date, end date, you have a target start date, end date, then you have actual target start end date. So that's a scenario where it matters. But beyond that, it's a rationale that why you need to have that. So that would be another case.
Like
So
planned date, planned start date, planned
yeah,
end date, planned.
yeah. So this is possible when you have a very big ITSM process. Obviously, it's good to include that. If you're not including, then that's a chaos, right? But there's always a limit. Start date ended, planned start date, planned ended, target started, target ended. But now again, the thing is, target started versus a planned started. It's the same, right? It's the naming convention is same. So then go with the basic thing. Which one is most used often? Planned started or target started? It's almost same. So you just pick one of them, but actually you need the actual start date is actually required. So you target for 5th of November, but you started on the 7th of November. In that case, it is required. So that would be another case.
One more thing I want to mention over here, like while you are creating them, don't think about we are going to give all of these items within the single project.
Yeah.
You have to create a multiple template project for your organization. So if you are creating a project for a specific team or test team or development team or the advanced roadmap plan team who is working on the advanced project, their demand will always differ with the normal demand. So while you are going to standardize the process or you are going to give them a template according to their requirement, then they are going to accept your requirement. Otherwise they don't need a target start date, target end date. Why they going to accept it? They are not going to accept it. They told it, I don't need an environment, I
Yeah.
don't need a test type environment, or I don't need an execution result. Why you are giving me? So make sure you are creating a different template for different project and different department, so that if any point of time anyone come to you, give them a browse access so that they can go over there, they can see, but they do not create issue or they do not modify anything. Make sure about that so that they can understand your workflow as well. If you want to publish that scenario on Confluence, I think that would be the better.
Yeah. That's okay. So Praveen, like you said, right, you like the idea, right? But obviously, like you said, which is also correct, there is a risk that people may go and delete it. You still have a history of that. You can try to replicate the history from there. If you don't want to use that, now thinking this for you, what is the Praveen? Actually, this question is for you directly. What do you think your instance? You have a Jira automation, right? What is the percentage of Jira automation being used in your instance? 5%, 10%, 50%, what you say?
I think it is more than 20%.
Still 20. You're still lacking 80%, right?
Yes.
Then there's another automation thing. You say that it's unnecessary that there's a design document, design issue type in Jira, and you have to get 5 to 10 different URLs, right? Why don't you create an automation input where you accept the data from user? Hey, you want to add some data, click on this link, click on the automation, click on the user input for URLs. User will input that this I'm making an input for the Slack URL, or let's say Canva URL, and he inputs it. The automation, what the automation do is automation will gather that Canva and will add that Canva URL dot what user has given to the description field, not the actual description. Description is a third party, it's a custom field known as a URL info, right? Which is like format of description. So automation will get the data from user and will input it over there. And the good part, you make sure that the field you have shown it's a read only, so that no one is going to edit it. Only the automation has a permission to edit it. That way, your value gets there. The user doesn't delete your any kind of existing data, and you still have a single field for all the process. You got what I
I
got.
will, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's because the thing is the reason I asked for the automation is if I'm giving you option of you can use the automation, then I want to know what is the maximum limit you have auto utilize. You are just utilized 20%. You're still on the 80%. So you're paying to Atlassian, but using only 20% of it. So why don't you get more use cases and start using it? So that is going to help you in terms of you don't need to wait for anything. You can add the automation on the go to any issue type that you want. You can have the data to be there. You have all the data about what user makes the input. You have the automation in place. Tomorrow if something changes, you can make the changes, right? You have to add a custom field, not add a custom field. You have to just add option in the description and make sure everything is there.
Okay.
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 One more thing I just want to ask to everyone, like Praveen mentioned. See, We all know we have an audit log in the Jira. Okay. But anyone think about the audit log into the issues? I think this question is directly related with Praveen, which is Praveen asked that. So, what is the audit in the issues? I have created one audit field, that is the description field. If anyone changes anything into the specific issue or a specific field of the issue which is directly impacted my issue, which is very important to me, all the audit, like who does that, what was the previous value,
Previous
what
and
is the new value, what at what time he changed, what is the status of that moment of time, all the value has been captured into the audit log. And if anyone is try to edit the audit log, there is a no edit permission. Even like now you may surprise, okay, when it will be updated, so might be it will lose the old data. No, I am taking the audit log as a audit log as well, means it is capturing the audit log data and the new data as well.
Yeah, so it's like let's think about a very big initiative. It's a very big issue type, which wherein your CFO or CEO is on that list, right? And someone tried to go there and change the process progress status from red to black. Okay, let's add a black color from now on. Okay, so bro, let's say yellow to red. Now it's like though it's yellow to red, it's a very big thing because your CEO is on the ticket, so that really means there is something big on that one. So the what Avneet said is there will be audit log on the ticket itself, which will capture this timestamp, this user change this field value from this to that. Probably you can just limit on the specific fields, not everyone.
Yeah.
Specific so that even when the highest CF or CLO or any senior thing comes in, he will see that audit log. Okay, who changed this from that? He CFO or CEO doesn't have a time to go on the Jira issue, click on the history that okay someone did that. He will see on that field itself that okay this time someone did changes for this and that. So that thing does matter. That's how you should be start rethinking about how you can make an extensive use of audit log as well, because for audit log there's something else coming in as well. It's in the integration part.
Instead of audit log, we can call it as a issue audit log.
Yeah, issue audit log, correct. So let's dive into next part, and just want to note I am adding thumbs up to few of the questions. It's just like we are going to make sure we take that in the Q&A part as well. Okay, so it's almost 1 hour done, and
Yeah,
we'll go next one. And okay, that's now the part comes in the automation for Jira and Confluence. You can take it.
okay. So
This is a scenario based, huh? Okay, scenario based. We are happy to take much more questions.
yeah, this is not the automation which is we are talking about. This is the very normal automation which we always forget to include into our project. So what is the automation or what is over there? See, maximum time what will be happen if we are working on any issue or somewhere, what will be happen, my issue will be blocked by someone. Suppose I am working on one new initiative, suddenly I got a pop-up from the security team and they told, okay, this is not approved, or this is not we are still into the consideration whether we should approve this or not. So what is that issue? That issue is blocker for me. So if that issue is blocker for me, what should I do? I can mark that issue as a block. But if I am marking that issue as a block, my PM, my project manager, or my director should be informed with that. So we need to be make sure while we are marking that as a block, it will always update the epic or initiative. It always go over there. Same for the roadmap as well. If we are working on the roadmap, over that what is the progress, how many tasks, how many user stories has been completed, we should give. See why, if we are working into the Atlassian scenario, it is giving us the project, but it also give us the dashboard. So it give us the dashboard, it give us the board. So what is the use of the dashboard? The use of the dashboard is reporting. For me and for you is always a issue, always a project. But for the project manager, for the people who are above the project manager, director, senior director, CFO, COO, what they matter. They always focus on the report,
Numbers and reports.
numbers, reports. They always how much, how what is the percentage of the task is completed, how many percentage. If it is a test manager, it will be ask you how many test has been passed. Can I get the percent? So we need, as being admin, we don't need to think about we have done this. No, being admin, you need to think about on their perspective as well. You need to tell them, okay, this is the status of the initiative. The at that percent or that moment of time the epic is completed, and there is a few forecast like the epic is going to be complete like that, or how many stories has been complete. If my all stories has been completed, why not my epic is automatically completed?
Correct.
Same way follow for the test. If test is fail or that bug is link or something has been done, my defect or my sync or my story will be automatically updated. I gave all the data. So while working over there, we always think about on the big picture instead of going with the showcase them, okay, this is not my responsibility, this is the project owner responsibility. They need to think about how many epic, or why should I complete the epic, because our task is completed, it is your responsibility to move to the done.
And that's where the small automation comes into picture, whether you have to be readiness that this process, though this is like a 10 lines of process, but somewhere after the eighth line and between above the ninth line, those two lines, you have a process wherein you have actual automation to include. Okay, so like what you done, right? I can go with the confidence. Yeah. So actually, that's where the thing comes in. Now, Avneet said about the supporting dev, QA, roadmap, blah blah blah. Now, obviously, let's think in this perspective. What about the data that you're flowing? It's like something you can do from your own mind, that you create an automated release readiness report. Okay, based on the QA process, everything which is done, you try to create a Confluence beautiful page summary. Okay, that this is the automation rule that runs every week. It's based on some sort of right after every Monday or probably every Sunday it runs it. Or else, if a particular version is completed in Jira over that time as well, right? You try to create a Confluence page, and that Confluence page includes all the data like what is the roadmap status, what is the QA status, what are the critical blockers, everything. Okay, so that this key stakeholders, what Avneet was trying to say, they're automatically notified. Now the Jira is trying to create a Confluence page. When the Confluence page is created, you can create a automation Confluence as well, that the Confluence automation take care that okay, this is the automation report that just got listed, and this automation report belong to, let's say you add a label, automation belong to code center, cost center, or this particular team XYZ. So you already have the listing that once this is there, you try to send a mail to the respective designators that hey, this has been created, the report is now live and published, you can view, you can go to this URL and it's there. You are there is no need of probably an intern or SME or a manager to take the data, create a data, export to Excel, create a sheet, blah blah blah, update to Confluence, take the Confluence data, send it to your managers or their VP, CIO, and so and so. Everything is automated. That's where the beauty of Jira admins or Atlassian admin comes in, where you try to create such small automations as well.
One question is for everyone, like how many of you are still closing your own issues?
Yeah, that's again the thing. Yeah, in Jira, right? In Jira, not in Service now.
Yeah.
Else there will be a separate talk show. Service now versus Jira.
Yeah, Deepak will be getting another pin, like how we can call him for the service now. So first we should focus on Atlassian thing. So see, you always get issues for your bucket, like how many issues you are getting, like those issues has been completed, you mark it, okay, this is done. But still at the some moment of point, like after 1 month, 2 month, or 15 days, there is a new thing will be came up or pop up on your window. I need a new modification on this issue. This is a very common problem for the Jira admin. As you already completed your issue and you showcase, okay, this is the part of my work which is already completed into the last month, again I'm working on this. So this is a very big problem. What you should do in this scenario, you use the automation, and that automation should be like, if you are marking that issue as a done, and after 7 days or 15 days that issue will automatically move to done to close. And while it moved to done to close, nobody is able to reopen it or comment it. They can only clone it. If they are going to clone it, they need to perform the modification or new things on that issue.
Yeah.
So there is a new issue coming into your bucket instead of they are modifying or adding a new feature to the old issue.
And
That is the beauty of automation. Yes, yes.
and don't think in this way that hey, it's why I should have one more ticket in my queue, but that matters because something you have already done. You're trying to redo the same thing again and again. So why not you have one more ticket in your queue? If number of ticket in your queue represent the higher number of work you are doing for your upcoming increment, then that matters.
At upcoming cycle.
Okay, so that's the beauty of automation over here because that's all the tips and triggers. You have to think about different perspective how you can do. Actually, I've got few things, but I'll cover that in scaling and cleanup, right? So this is something that I always do. I've got my scripts. I've got 30, 50 scripts every week. I try to create one script because something I need to do every time, this and that. Okay, let's talk some examples, right? Automated health checks and script configuration audit, right? Like Avneet already talked about the configuration audits, right? You can use the same audit in your different perspective. Let's say you have made some changes, right? Eventually the Jira does have a API for audits as well. Okay, so let's say you've done some changes in your Jira system, right? Now it's been a year, you were around 30 of your Jira admins on the same instance. Okay, let's take the Dhyanraj Mali's instance. He said he's got 187 or 50 different clients, right? How you're tracking the changes that you have done, who and what did the changes, why they actually did the changes, right? So you create a different system. Okay, you try to import all the audit logs every day, okay, in a different instance. You try to iterate every audit log. You see that someone made some changes to this workflow, they made a revised revision to this workflow, they never added a description, right? And eventually there is no option to add a description in your Jira. So you read that probably you try to create a AI system. Huh? That AI system will read that hey, that Piyush did some changes. Now let's do one thing. Let's create a Jira ticket on his name and try to get the answers why he did the changes, and he will close it. So after a year, okay, let's say there's a new guy comes into your organization, right? Which a new hiring is done, new guy comes in picture. Now he's asked that, hey, Macha, why this thing was changed? Why this thing was changed? Who changed it? You go to that old repository that this thing was changed by this person for this reason. So you try to create an automation. You are trying to scale up your instance in terms of automation as well. So that your health check and everything is done. It's not about health check as well. All different perspective is there. I'll tell you when I had a data center now, what we used to do is I used to create a small shell script, hardly 10 lines. That I added that shell script to every instance of Jira. We had around two different, both of them data center, and one had 3 node, one had 4 nodes. What the shell script used to do is, if at any point of time there is a higher data calls, database call, if there is a low storage or the shared drive, NAS pointing is not connected, right? It used to check the status. It used to run every 5 minutes. If it finds anything, it's used to create a log file, and that log file used to ingest it, and it used to create a service now ticket. Obviously, I cannot create a ticket in Jira because Jira is down, right? So I'll create a ticket in service now. I'll try to send a mail at least that hey, something is off with your instance. So those are the different automations or health scripts that you can do. Obviously, if you're in cloud, which everyone has to be in cloud by 2028 because Atlassian is closing down the data center very soon. So obviously, you cannot do the health check in your cloud. But how the health check can be doable in your cloud? It could be that your this particular project has surpassed 10,000 issues in a day. That's one of them. Health check could be your your project is not being utilized for last 2 years. Let's archive it. You can have this automation in place as well. That is going to take. When I say automation, few things are not doable by the Jira automation. You can create some separate instance where you try to run Python script or any other script. You try to deploy it, and that take care of your checks every now and then. So same way you have archiving policy, right? you try to create a particular system, okay, where you try to dump all the data, and that data is being checked by Jira, by some Python script on some XYZ server on schedule basis. It checks, okay, these are the number of project, this is a project which is not utilized from last 3 years, let's archive it. Once it's archived, send a mail. You create a ticket in Jira itself. That script is going to create a ticket in Jira that this project is archived by this is a payload data because of why we archived, because it was 2 years old. If the ticket get auto closed, you don't need to do anything. So you actually don't need to go to the logs or scripting. Your scripting itself create a ticket in your own Jira in your let's say Atlassian. You try to create Atlassian health check, Atlassian repo log, something, right? Where you try to create all the tickets. So those thing is doable. You actually try to create thing. I have around many of the rules running in, wherein I check how many projects which can be archived. I check it out how many status are there in system, but there's no issue assigned to those status. Okay, then probably how many issue types are there in my system. I iterate all of the issue type and I check how many actual tickets in Jira created for that status. So that's how you create it. Eventually, you try to create some maintenance script, performance monitoring. Everything is there. That's how you try to end it. In data center, you have to do that. In cloud, obviously the server side is not your headache, but something you can do apart from that thing. You can try to check the how many projects created, which user is trying to create more tickets. Probably I've got a good example wherein a few of the service account try to create tens of thousands of issues per day. If they start doing that, you can think of 365 days into 10,000. You are bombarded. Even though it's cloud, your cloud will be slow. So that how it matters. Probably next one you can take.
Yeah. So basically, the new one is like user provisioning, schedule permission. How you are going for the user provisioning and schedule permission. So as user is coming into the organization, your user will be arrive into the system. Now what should do? It will be automatically, suppose if someday there is 100 or 200 user has been joined from the new campus recruitment process, and they joined your organization and you are not ready for them, might be your licenses got completely exhausted. What you should do? So in this scenario, the provisioning is always important. Go with the provisioning system, but don't give direct access to that group. Create a new group where user or anyone who is requested I come to you and ask you to, okay, I need a permission, and or their project managers or product owner come to you and tell them, okay, this is my team and I need access for them, so that you can understand how many licenses is going to be consumed and what is over there. Same for the going with the notification review reminder. You need to do that for product new discoveries. Like if you are not using enterprise, so any of your user can create a new project with their email ID, official email ID, and they will create a product, and they don't have Jira or Confluence access, but they do have the guard access, and you are not able to disable their or delete their ID because they are the site admin for their own sites.
Which doesn't require, because your organization already have one instance. Why people try to create different instance? Or tomorrow, probably if they start creating it, those bill get aligned to your billing. You are like, where this $3 million came into the billing. That's where the case is. So you have to start monitoring that as well.
Yeah, not today, but after 1 year or 2 year, when they leave the organization and Atlassian will perform the like cleanup on their own system, they will bill to you. It will be always pop up into your bucket and say, you see, okay, oh my god, how this bill is came to my bucket, why this is added over here, where you never work over there. So make sure, if those are the thing you need to notify, get a notify on your mail, you get a notification on your mail, so that you can understand, you can tell them, okay, these are the things where we why you have created that. You can stop them if you have the enterprise. If you don't have the enterprise, enable the notification and immediately stop them or ask them to delete the sites.
So I guess few ideas probably I can share, then I'll need to share. So it's like, for example, in your instance, obviously, you don't give permission to delete a issue, right? Obviously, that's not the case. So what you can do is you can ask them that, hey, Jira users, if you want to delete any issue, which is obviously a test dummy data, you can just add a label that Jira underscore admin underscore delete underscore this issue. Jira admin deletes this issue, and you try to create a filter. So at the end of every 2 weeks, it checks whether it's actually a test ticket, actually a dummy ticket that you can check it out. You can remove, and then once it is removed, your automation will kick in place that okay, these are the tickets that can be deleted. Okay, that would be after another automation, not for the Jira automation to delete. Never do that. Okay. And the other part would be like archiving policy. You try to create some policy, you try to create some rules, clean up your always rule. So the good part is if you've got a very big instance, I'll tell you my thing. It's always better that you try to, let's say in a project you have 50 different rules. But out of those 50, 20 rules are running for the same Jira issue creation. Once the Jira issue is created, those 20 parallel rules are running. So always being your GU as a Jira admin, try to verify such automation and collate all of them. I said collate all of them into a single automation rule, so that tomorrow if something goes wrong, you know only which automation rule you have to check for. Then probably you try to create Jira issue creation automation rule, updated transition, all those things can be doable. And because now already you have a much more complex, good complexity, I'm talking about a good complexity, not bad one, that Atlassian has integrated branches in your automation rules. So if you don't know about this, go to your Jira admin, bug is just pick out much more of his hair and ask him to teach you about the Jira automation. That is much more required. And obviously, like stale projects, stale issue types, everything, right? So I'll tell you one good example from my side, right? What I saw there was a ask, right? Let me go up. Okay, Jayesh, you there, right? If he's not, okay, I see. Yeah, he's there. So he asked a question that he's got a 50 clients Jira project and DC instance, right? Let's assume it's a DC or let's assume this is a cloud, both. He has a number of issue types, he has a number of workflows, okay, which makes a Jira heavy. Obviously, it is, and he also have a script runner, JEMH, Power Database Field, EasyBI, Git integration, right? EasyBI is a very good tool. Okay, that's I say. Git integration doesn't consume any kind of your heaviness. It's a way. It's like a very small payload kind of thing. It doesn't include. EasyBI will obviously impact, but EasyBI, what EasyBI does is EasyBI creates a different process apart from your Jira. Okay, since you have EasyBI, then probably it's good time that you actually scale your instance memory much more. Okay, script runner again doesn't take much more of your process. It just depends on the scripts, which again runs on your DC processes, I believe. Okay, now in your case, right, let's assume now you said you have 170 issue and 187 workflow. Are those all of your workflow are active? If not, they can clean out. Once you once you clean out, you have a Jira status that you can remove it out. Okay. Now coming to the cloud one, right? So this is my example for you guys. Atlassian does provide you all sort of APIs. Okay. I have one Python script. What it does it, if I run it for a particular project X, it gives me all the issue types in that particular project. All issue types are associated with what all issue types scheme. It gives me all that listing. It gave me all issue screens schemes. It gave me what are the screens associated with it. Each screen, what are the different tabs are there. Each tab, if there are or they're not. What it gives me all the number of custom fields it has with the name, with the type, and what this custom type is. This system type or custom field. Why this is important? Me as an admin, I really cannot bug and check it about the thousands of custom field, right? What I can do is I can click on the script and give me a CSV file in a very good way that this project has this number of custom field. Then I check it out and I have a separate script. What a separate script does it iterates to all my thousand issues. It iterates to all my thousand custom field. It creates a JQL that custom field is not empty. It just gives me count, nothing else. So at the end of the day, I get to know that out of my 1500 custom field, I have around more than 300 custom field that were never used. Then I check it out. This custom field are used in what all project. That means they are never used, but they are still there. So it gives me a good dilemma that I can remove the invalid or not used custom field from the screens. First thing, the whenever the user comes to the project, he sees that okay, this is never used, he removes out. As a Jira admin, you are actually deleting. So again, your number of custom field get drilled down. Same way for your status, same way for your issue type. So at the end of the day, you it's very good if you now you've got a very good chat GPT, Gemini, and Perplexity and what all. You just ask them, these are the APIs, this is the data. If I use it, create me a Python script that is going to give me all the export in the CSV. And that CSV, trust me, those CSV are way important. I've seen, I guess Avneet had done few of them, right? So that's something you can always use.
My suggestion is over there. If you have that number of custom fields, that number of thing, try to design workflow, issue type, custom field, separate screen for all of them. If you are going to design the separate screen, it will give you the exact number of field which is going to be executed or which is going to be used within that issue type, which is going to be used for that specific workflow. It will be easy for you. It will be make more comfortable, and your application will be feel like okay, these are the only specific custom field which I need to be upload on the user screen.
So there are many ideas you how you can get it. Even I've got one script. What it does it in my Jira instance it checks all the projects. Okay, I know this is already in Site Optimizer, but from Site Optimizer you cannot export that data. Okay, you have to copy paste. What I've done is I've created an automated script. It runs in my instance. It checks all the project. It checks who are the admins are there, who are the active admins, who are the lead. Okay, what how many issues that project has, what was the last issue created, and I guess when was the last issue created. I have that thing. So when you have that stuff, you, again it gives you very better function that how you can try to save cost, how you can govern, how you can do the maintenance.
Okay, so while you are working on a specific thing or plugin or somewhere, what you need to understand, like Piyush mentioned. So I remember there is a one thing. Every you creating a user within your application, either in Confluence, Jira, or somewhere, and at the next moment of point, they come to you and what they ask you, can you give me the permission within that project?
Yeah.
So this is a very common mistake done by the Jira admin. We are adding user into the system, but we are not giving permission to create a ticket within the system. And we say, see, I don't know who is your project, what is your project, who is your project lead, who is going to give you this access. So you need to connect with him, ask him, and he will add you within your project. That is okay. That is very good. Actually, that is the correct process. But now, what is the catch here? That is the user experience. So user experience, first user come to you, you give access within 10 minutes, user is happy. Another point, user come to you and ask you, I am not able to create the ticket even though I have the access. At that moment of point, what you tell? Connect with your project manager, project administrator. I am not supposed to give you the access. At that moment of time, what is you have to do? You have to create a governance action. You have to create a thing, or you have to create a like a pages where you define your policies. You have to define the all the set of the permission, what project you have, what project administrator you are following into that project, to whom you have to connect. So instead of they are coming to you, they directly go to that link, find the project admin and connect with them and get the access.
Yeah, eventually we're using the Python script, not Python, with Python, with anything else, which is a recurring every week. Um, you can, using API call automated, the Jira system takes for this project. These are the active admin, and every a beautiful data get posted to a conference page or anywhere which they want. And obviously, people can refer to that conference page that okay, I have to go to this for this project. I have to go to this admin who is going to give me permissions. So that's how it goes on.
Okay.
So that's all probably. Anything else you want to add?
No, but
Okay, so I know it's we are over time, but
yeah,
that's all.
I,
And
I think Deepak want to invite us into the next session.
so that's all from our side. That's our QR code if you want to scan it, something like that. Okay. Deepak, over to you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Piyush. Thank you, Neet, for this wonderful sessions. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask whatever is the remaining questions you have. I believe almost all these questions will be answered by Piyush and Avnit. But still, if you have anything, maybe we can give you another 2-3 minutes just for. Or I've already pasted their LinkedIn ID as well in the chat. Along with that, I included the further sessions link, like session 4, 5th, and 6th. By next sessions, we will have the 7th one as well because we have postponed it for the API.
Eventually, API is way important if you're in cloud and if you're a Jira admin. API is way, way, way much more important. You have to make sure you attend that part. Anyone still have a question? Probably they can unmute and ask us.
When you're going to end, make sure your laptops are ready.
Okay, considering silence has no questions, thanks a lot everyone for joining. Thanks again, Avnit and Piyush, for delivering this wonderful sessions. I need email ID from Praveen. I believe he contributed a lot in this sessions. So as a kudos to you, and we as from the Atlassian point of view, we wanted to send you some gift card. Just send me a email ID of yours as well as Praveen, and there's one more person. I think there's a Mali.
Then
Dhananjay,
Then,
Dhaniyaraj Mali.
then Yajman.
Maybe, yeah. Please send out your email IDs. I will give you the Atlassian gift vouchers to both of you. I got from Praveen. I think Dhanraj Mali left the call.
he's
Oh, yes, thanks. Okay. So please ping me your email ID. I will send you the gift vouchers to your email ID. For this, thanks a lot. We'll see you in next sessions. That is planned on Friday. That is on 12th. Thank you again. Have a good day.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.